What if I told you that the most attractive thing you can say to a woman isn't a compliment? It's not "you're beautiful," and it's not "I want you." It's something deeper. Something rooted in self-awareness, calm strength, and emotional gravity. What if I told you that you don't even need the perfect words? You just need the right presence behind them. A presence shaped by ancient wisdom, discipline, and the kind of confidence that doesn't chase. It draws in, because when you speak with stoic energy, she won't be able to resist you. Not because you're trying to impress her, but because you've stopped trying at all. Let's break this down. I'm going to walk you through 6 Stoic principles, reimagined as words and energy that attract deeply, not by force, but by nature. These aren't pickup lines. They're reflections of a man who knows himself, who's seen pain, who's trained his mind to stay calm when others lose theirs. Say these words, live these truths, and watch what happens. But first, before we get into the gold, hit subscribe, because this isn't just about dating. This is about building a stronger mind, a magnetic presence, and a life that commands respect without begging for it. Let's dive in. Phrase 1. I see things differently. Most guys walk into a conversation, try to be liked. They mirror, they agree, they play it safe. But when you say, I see things differently, you do something powerful. You stand alone. That's Stoicism. Epictetus said, man is disturbed not by things, but by the views he takes of them. Translation, your power is not in what happens. It's in how you interpret what happens. So when she tells you about something that bothers her, instead of immediately trying to fix it or agree, you pause. You look at her with calm curiosity and say, I see things differently. And then silence. You're not correcting her. You're not challenging her. You're simply being you. That phrase hits because it makes her wonder, what do you see that others don't? What kind of man doesn't flinch in the face of chaos? You're now the calm in her storm. And in that calmness, she leans in. Women are emotional feelers. They don't want you to solve everything. They want to feel safe in your energy. When you see the world differently, when you don't react like every other man, you become unforgettable. Phrase 2. That wasn't a problem. It was training. There's a moment in every woman's life where she shares a story. A tough time, a breakup, a moment of embarrassment. She expects you to either sympathize or judge, but you do neither. Instead, you look her in the eyes, grounded, still, and say, that wasn't a problem, it was training. Suddenly, the air changes. You're not another guy offering pity. You're a man who sees pain the way a Stoic sees pain, as fuel, as fire, as the way. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When you speak like that, you're not just comforting her, you're inviting her to rise. You're saying, I've been in the mud too. I don't run from it. I grow in it. And that's attractive because pain is universal, but strength is rare. This phrase flips the script. She's not broken. She's becoming. And now, instead of hiding her scars, she wants to show them to you because you're the one man who doesn't flinch when he sees them. That's intimacy. And it starts with just one line. Phrase 3. I choose discipline. You don't have to say it loudly. In fact, it works better when said with stillness. I choose discipline. It's not a brag. It's not a flex. It's a quiet declaration that sets the tone for everything. Epictetus said it best. No man is free who is not master of himself. Most men are slaves to their emotions. They get angry fast. They chase validation. They fold when it gets hard. But not you, because you've made a decision. You've decided that feelings don't rule you, virtue does. And that energy, it's magnetic. Imagine this. She tests you, gets a little moody, pulls away. Most men would panic. Text too much. Try to fix. But you hold the line. You say, I choose discipline. And you let her feel the silence. She'll come back. Why? Because in a world full of noise, you are the signal. In a world full of boys reacting, you're the man responding. Discipline isn't harsh, it's sexy. Because it says, I don't need to control you. I already control me. Phrase 4. That chaos didn't shake me. Here's a truth most people run from. Life doesn't care about your plans. It will hit you. It will break you. But what you say in those moments matters. Let's say you're on a date. She's venting, maybe about an ex, a fight, a stressful week. You're listening, not trying to fix, just listening. And then calmly you say, that chaos didn't shake me. It's not about sounding tough. It's about showing her something deeper, that you've been through storms. And instead of drowning, you learn to surf. She's not looking for a savior. She's looking for someone she can lean on. Someone whose world doesn't collapse every time something goes wrong. You say that line, and suddenly you're not just a guy. You're a mountain, unmoved, unbothered, unshaken. That level of steadiness, she'll crave it, because the modern world is chaotic. And a man who remains still, who holds the line, no matter what, becomes the most irresistible force in the room. Phrase 5. I let go of what doesn't serve me. Let's be honest. Most men get stuck in bad habits, bad thinking, bad relationships. They hold on because they fear being alone. But you're not most men. You're stoic. You don't cling. You filter. So when the moment comes, when she's trying to figure out who you are, how you think, you drop this line. I let go of what doesn't serve me. Simple, clear, and now everything she assumed changes. That one sentence tells her everything about you. That you're not here to chase. You're not here to convince. You're here to choose. And if something doesn't align with your peace, your purpose, your values, you walk away with grace, with clarity, not from fear, but from wisdom. Here's why this works. Because it's rare. Most people don't let go. They cling. You release. And that detachment isn't cold. It's compelling. Because now she realizes she can't manipulate you. She has to inspire you. That's what makes a woman stay up thinking about you. Not the compliments. Not the flowers. But the mystery of a man she can't quite control. Phrase 6. I've trained for this moment. This is the final piece. The closer. The one phrase that ties everything together. Because at the end of the day, women don't just fall for looks or words or charm. They fall for certainty. And when you say, I've trained for this moment, what you're really saying is, I'm ready for you, for love, for life. Not because I got lucky, but because I did the work. The inner work. The painful work. You fought battles no one saw. You faced rejection, failure, loneliness. And instead of turning bitter, you turn stoic. That's the man who wins. That's the man who leads. That's the man she can't resist. Speak from stillness. She feels what you don't say. Let me break something to you that most men never realize. A woman doesn't just listen to your words. She listens to your stillness, your silence, your energy between the words. She watches how your eyes move when she talks. She reads your reaction time, not just your reaction. And here's what Stoicism teaches. You don't need to say the perfect line. You need to be the man behind the line. When your soul is still, when you detach from outcome, when you're not chasing validation. She feels it because she's wired to notice the man who's anchored, unmoved, not because he's cold, but because he's already full. That's the paradox. The less you need her to feel something for you, the more she feels everything. Look, most men walk into a room and subconsciously beg for connection. They over-explain. They talk fast. They say too much too soon. You know what the Stoic man does? He walks in, grounded. He says less. He listens like it matters. He's not in a rush to be understood, because he understands himself. This presence, this is what women remember long after conversation ends. Seneca once wrote, silence is a lesson learned through life's many sufferings. And when you've suffered and you've risen, when you've tamed your inner chaos, women feel your strength in the way you don't overreach. So what do you say to a woman? You say what's true, but you say it without fear. You say it without attachment. You say it because it's your truth, not your bait. Because the man who can speak truth without fear is the man she can't stop thinking about after you leave. The voice of the Stoic, attraction without performance. Here's what makes the Stoic voice different. It's not a pickup line. It's not a performance. It's a reflection of inner order. And when your soul is in order, your words don't need to be fancy. They just need to be aligned. Say this next time you're with her, but only if you mean it. I don't say things to impress. I say them because they're real. That line, that's not a trick. That's an unapologetic boundary. And boundaries are attractive. Why? Because they say, I know who I am, and I won't move for approval. When you say this calmly with zero expectation, you shock her nervous system. She's used to men who adjust, who morph, who bend, not men who stand. That's what Stoicism gives you, an emotional spine. Now let's go deeper. When she tests you, don't react. Respond like a philosopher. Women don't test you to destroy you. They test you to see you. She'll play hard to get. She'll say something that pokes at your confidence. She'll tease. She'll pretend not to care when she does. And here's where weak men crumble. They get emotional. They chase harder. They try to explain themselves. But the Stoic man, he doesn't react. He responds. Because he knows her test is not an attack. It's an invitation to stay centered, to not flinch, to show her you can handle the storm without becoming it. Marcus Aurelius said it best. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. So revoke it. Don't take her test personally. See it as a mirror. Reflect, then respond with grounded calm. Say this. You can challenge me, but you won't shake me. It's not a threat. It's a declaration. She might laugh. She might act unimpressed. But deep down, she just discovered a man she can't manipulate. That's rare. That's power. The masculine calm. Her chaos seeks your order. There's something every woman feels but rarely admits. She brings the chaos. You bring the calm. And when you don't, when you get pulled into her emotional storms, she loses trust, even if she doesn't say it. Because deep down, she's not just looking for attention. She's looking for containment. That doesn't mean controlling her. It means not letting her energy control you. This is why the Stoic man is magnetic. When she's emotional, he doesn't match it. He grounds it. When she throws words at him to spark a reaction, he holds space instead of firing back. And suddenly, she feels safe. Not because you agreed, not because you gave in, but because you didn't break. And here's what she won't tell you. She might get louder before she gets softer. She might test harder before she melts. Why? Because she needs to know you can take it. Women crave strength they can't shake. Not arrogance, not cold detachment, but that subtle, unshakable calm. So when she comes at you with fire, don't run, don't fight, hold your frame. And if you speak, say this. It's okay. Feel whatever you need. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm not breaking either. You've just done what 90% of men can't. You've stayed grounded when her world wasn't. And that's when she leans in closer. Not because she's controlled, but because she feels understood. The words that melt her guard, but only if you mean it. Let's talk about something powerful. A Stoic man isn't afraid to speak from depth, but he never weaponizes emotion to get what he wants. This is where most men get it wrong. They say sweet things hoping for approval or intimacy, but it's all a game, a move, and women smell it instantly. What's rare is a man who says something soft, but doesn't collapse after saying it. You want to say something she can't forget? Say this. You don't need to prove anything to me. I see you. That line, it hits different, but only if it's backed by presence. Only if you're not trying to rush into her arms, but actually standing beside her soul. When you say something like that with real integrity, with grounded stillness behind your eyes, you do something almost no man ever does. You validate her without surrendering yourself. She feels safe, seen, but also curious. Who is this man? Why isn't he pushing? Why is he so okay with whatever happens? The answer is because you've done the work. Because you no longer perform. You live aligned. And your words now don't land as lines. They land as truth. Your detachment is not indifference, it's power. Let's clear something up. Being stoic doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care from a place of fullness, not need. It means you're not here to possess her. You're here to witness her. And paradoxically, that makes her want to stay. You know what's deeply attractive? A man who can walk away with love still in his heart. A man who doesn't chase. Not because he's heartless, but because he knows his worth doesn't decrease when she walks. Epictetus taught this. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. And let's be honest, her feelings, her choices, her desire, not your control. Your job is to show up fully, truthfully, powerfully, then let her choose. And if she pulls away, you don't beg. You bless her silently and keep walking. That detachment, that's what breaks her patterns. She's used to men who cling, not men who release with grace. Say this not out loud, but in your energy. You're free to go, and I'm still whole. That energy, it's unforgettable. That man, she thinks about long after the door closes, because he didn't need her, and yet he valued her deeply. Become the man she can feel without touching. If you made it this far, let this sink deep. You don't need to chase. You don't need to impress. You don't need tricks, games, or lines. Because when you become the man who is aligned with his essence, she feels you before you even speak. When you stop needing her attention, you become the man who commands it. When you stop seeking her validation, you become the man who naturally earns it. She's drawn to depth, not drama. To stillness, not strategies. To your grounded masculine, not your performances. And once you embody these stoic truths, you won't just be the man she desires. You'll be the man she respects, the man she remembers, and the man she never forgets, even when you say absolutely nothing, because your presence speaks louder than any pickup line. You won't need to force connection. You'll become connection. You won't need to say the right thing. You'll be the right thing. And the words that once felt awkward, they'll now flow effortlessly, not from the lips, but from the soul. So remember this. You don't have to convince her. You just have to become the man who doesn't need to. That man, that's you if you choose him. Not tomorrow. Not when she's finally ready. Now. Right now. So go inward. Live truthfully. Speak slowly. Stand firmly. And when the time comes, say the words not with pressure, but with presence. Because once you do, she won't be able to resist you. Not because you played a game, but because you finally remembered you are the prize. If this resonated with you, don't just click away. Subscribe to Everyday Stoicism, where we turn ancient wisdom into daily power. If you're tired of the noise, if you're ready to lead, not beg, then this is your space. Let the others chase. You stand, and the right ones will come to you. Be still, be sharp, be stoic. Goodbye for now.